Hebrews Toy Reviews is not intended for children or anyone under the age of 17. Hello everybody, Hebrew77 here, and welcome to the conclusion of Masters Universe Origins Snake Mountain Review. Here we go.
Hebrew77 here, and welcome to a brand new YouTube channel. This is Hebrew's Toy Review. But this is the 1983 Jump Jetpack. I just broke his crotch. What do you think about her? I was playing tennis with Superman. This is games. This is the owner, Daniel.
I'm very frail, and I just got this, but there's some stretch marks just from me bending that just ever so slightly, and it looks like it's got a weak point right there where the plastic can break. So before I assembled this bridge, and do we only get one bridge? They don't form a whole bridge anymore? Huh. Oh, okay then. Whoa. So we got the snake head on here, and let me go ahead and see what I hear it snapping and popping, and that really bothers me. So the snake head can be moved. This is what it looks like when, I guess, when it's in position. So yeah, there's the snake head. God dang, sun's getting in the way. This is ruining my video. But there is the snake head snapped into place. And we're going to build what is the weakest part of the set by far, the bridge. And hopefully it won't do much. Now let me see. Yeah, on the box cover it shows just one bridge. It isn't two connecting bridges anymore, which is kind of better because it makes it sturdier. So now I'm going to assemble this bridge, and I'm hoping I'm putting the parts on correctly. Let's see. Do they label them? Let's see. I got to be very careful not to bend this, because I saw that that is the middle part is the stress point. So we want to. It's not very flexible. So you can see here there are 3 holes. 3 there. And let's see. Boy, I weakened the heck out of that one. Do these all have 3 pegs? Yes, they do. So I'm going to assume this is how it goes. These are all the same size. Okay, yeah, good. Alright. That way we cannot... Oh boy. Okay, well there's that side, but it's not snapped in. I will do that off camera, but this is where they go. I'll put them in the peg holes so you can see. Yeah. Well, that's where they go, so let's go ahead and... So I got the first 2 in, and I think I put this one on backwards. But it's a one-time assembly deal, so I don't think it really matters. Here's another stress point. If any of these pieces snap off, I'm going to be very upset. So I'll have to put this one same way I did the other one. Put it inward. And of course, yeah. Okay, so there we go. I have assembled the bridge very successfully without snapping off any of these things, which you can see there are stress marks on some of the things, but I don't think they'll break as long as we're not doing this to like take it down and play with it all the time. I'm gonna do it for movie purposes and stuff, so it shouldn't break. I wouldn't think, well, at least not for a few years anyway. Okay, so I think I figured out the bridge. It just kind of slots in there, and this really isn't very good because it hinders sort of the movement. What the heck am I grabbing there? The throne? I'll throw that off there. This feature here, the mouth feature, whereas the original was somewhat down here and continued up in here. So I don't agree with this, and plus the end here doesn't slot very well into that because the railing here kind of hinders that. But I guess and the whole point is so you can remove the bridge for closure, like when you close Snake Mountain. But if you look at the original bridge, there's two sides. Let me zoom in on that. There are two sides to this bridge, and when it's fully assembled, it doesn't hinder the movements of the mouth at all. But on this one, it kind of does. And the instructions aren't too clear. They don't really... Let's see. Dang it. They don't really tell you how to... Sorry about that, folks. I had to sneeze and I couldn't get to my pause button. They don't really tell you how to put the bridge on. But this picture here is showing it's not blocking the mouth. So I must have the bridge on there wrong. Does it go further up? Yeah, it should go to this point, the stairs. Like up here. But there's nothing that I can... There's no slot there, and the railing again hinders how that's done. So I wonder, is there a sliding mechanism? If you folks in the comments know what the deal is with this, please let me know, because the way they did this was just stupid. They should have had pegs. It would have been easier to peg this thing in. And the thing is, the bottoms have these little, like, snaps or whatever. And there's nowhere at the bottom to actually, like, snap that in. It's weird. And then, like I said, this is the only slot here which secures it, but it hinders the freaking mouth, so that doesn't make sense. And you could just sit it like that for displaying purposes, obviously, but if you want to put a figure on there, let's see, use him as an example again. Oh, actually, oh shit. Look, it actually does hold his weight, so I guess they wanted to make that easily removable, so when it came time to close Snake Mountain, you could just take it off there. Sorry, I threw it. So here we go. Snake Mountain is basically been assembled. There is one or two other features that need to go on here. I'm throwing the instructions away because they suck. The part where the microphone used to go, which, again, another good example. You can't really see it from here because it's in the back. But the wolf head microphone goes, I think, over in here. God dang this Zoom. It gets stuck sometimes. But let's go ahead and snap that dude on there. So before you assemble your wolf head, you got this little clip here that snaps into place. Then you take your wolf head, which looks very familiar but also very frightening at the same time. So then you take your wolf head, and there's a little Well, you can see where it goes. You just clip it in there at the bottom. Actually, I think I got it. Okay. See this little groove here? I think you're actually supposed to... I don't know why they did it this way. Why didn't they do it where the wolf head could just slip in there? That's weird. But anyway, the wolf head moves. It's supposed to move with this little thing here, but obviously you can't do that because it has to clip into this, which it doesn't do very well, by the way. But anyway, the wolf head's assembled. It's on there. Up, least but not last, would be... Oh, and I think this cage, by the way, could be removed and detached under here. Let's see. Yes, it shows that on the box. As you can see there, it's very versatile. So I could detach this if I wanted to and put it under here, and instead of the trap door, making your guy land into a pit of nothingness, you can have them drop into the cage. I do like this feature. It's a good play feature. In fact, we're going to demonstrate here in a little bit. Okay, so now my throne came off when I was assembling the other part. Uh-oh. Somebody's either in trouble, which the throne comes off very easily, which I don't mind. Now, when I had my old Snake Mountain... Come on, bunghole. Get on there. Okay, yeah. Not quite sure how to react to that. I don't like the way that does. But anyway, you get the point. The throne fits in there, but oddly enough, there on the instruction manual, you could also set the throne inside the cage, which I don't know why you would do that unless you Hordak captured Skeletor and put him in there. I don't know. But the old Snake Mountain, I had sort of a makeshift throne for Skeletor, and I kind of put it down there at the bottom. But yeah, that looks good. And then figures who he's talking to can stand on this platform. So I like that too. So then you have your weapons rack, which at the moment I'm just going to stick up here. And I assume it comes with weapons. Here is the ladder, which as you can see has grooves. Here you can either stick it there. I mean, you could also put it up there. There's no grooves to hold it in place, but actually this looks like it has grooves in it. But yeah, you could do it that way, I guess, or you could do it maybe that way, but this is supposed to be the top part. So this is the only one that has grooves that actually match up to the ladder. There you go. That's perfect. We could do it that's the way it looks like it's supposed to like actually be, but it's not attached, as you know. And let's get these monsters out. Remember the monsters that were on the sticker? Well, they're no longer on the sticker anymore, but rather I've decided to put the light on because this is the darkest part of the playset. Now I do have one gripe here. This is supposed to look like this creature, that this is the head, this is the tail. Why didn't they make the creature the same color as the tail? I mean, obviously you don't want it to be the same color as the walls here of Snake Mountain, because it'll just blend in. But you do want its tail to match its body, because that, even though it looks cool, I wish they had made this the same color as this. Or, you know, made this the same color as that. That's the weird part. But here you can see the weird looking frog creature that also comes on the sticker. And actually, yeah. So, and then this one comes with a spider, which you do see throughout the play set. And it looks like I've already got some paint wear. If you could see that, I've got a little bit of paint wear going on, not bad. But this part is actually very removable. And of course, like, you could flip it up and down. And when you close Snake Mountain, you're going to want it flipped up. I like the spider. Can we get a close-up of the spider? I like the spider. That is a new addition. Well, the creatures in themselves are new additions. Now, here's the weapons rack. And here are the weapons that come with the weapons rack. Let's go ahead and put them on there. Okay, first of all, I got the weapons rack somewhat assembled. But the shield is just kind of hanging on there because there's really no place for it to go, as you can see. Here's the problem I have with weapons rack, and I might want to put this sword hanging this way. You know, if you really want the characters to grab it, because they're not going to grab it by the sharp end. See there, that's the problem I have, is they don't really, number one, allow enough room from rack to floor, considering the weapon. Like this one's kind of making it lean at a tilt, and the shield, really, where the hell are you going to put the shield on this weapons rack? The other problem I have with the weapons rack is most of the time they're made with cheap plastic, so these clips wear out over time. As with the original toy, which didn't come with a weapons rack, but Castle Grayskull did, and the pegs and everything were made of cheap plastic, so years later they would often be found broken off. Well, there you have it. There is the complete assembly of Snake Mountain, and I've got to say, of all the hype that's going on with this thing, to me, it's just meh. You know, I know that fanboys out there are going to say, well, that was a terrible review. But no, the snake is hard to move around, and if you're going to have it for displaying purposes, well, let's just turn this thing around. Get into the play features here in a second, but here's, let me see if I can get away from this thing. Here is Snake Mountain fully assembled with the snake head and everything attached, and I've got to say, coming from a review perspective, the snake head is very tight and it's supposed to be flexible, and it does move some, but honestly, I prefer the original snake head to this one, even though it looks more vicious. And another problem I have is the bridge is very flimsy. There are stress points on the railings where the original bridge broke very easily too, the same way. I don't know why they didn't. I think they honestly used the same plastic. Now, one feature that I did not mention originally would be this thing. This is the secret entrance, and this is ridiculous. I don't like what they did here with this. I mean, look, let's do an example again. Will we use him again for example? Look how much they have to work to push their way through that hole. The original, there's the hole up there, they could just go through. And real quick, here's the other thing about the secret entrance. Let me bring him back out. There's no room. If this was not here, they could just enter like this, like you normally would. But just like the original toy, they've got to enter crawling on their belly, like army style. I don't like that. I think this would have been just fine without this, and you would have had more headroom where they could just duck down a little bit and be in there. See? You just duck down a little bit. But that just blocks the entrance completely. I know what they were trying to go for. It's supposed to be a secret entrance or whatever. And you fanboys, of course, will get on to me for nitpicking at this. But overall, I do like the design. I do like some of the different features. I'm glad they fixed the toughness on this gate where it doesn't just swing back and forth. And I do like the bridge is a little bit more sturdier than I had initially thought. It does go in those slots. You just got to put it there just right. You can see it's not inhibiting the mouth at all. And with all that being said, though, let's take a look at some of the play features. So again, we're going to use this guy as sort of an example. So we'll open the gate here, and he's just, this is the way, you know, it's like, this is the way you enter Snake Mountain. Just regular entering Snake Mountain. He's standing there, and let's see, where is that? That's another thing. The original trigger was the snake head. You pushed the snake head a certain way, and it triggered the trap door. But here's the trap door. He's standing there, and woo, right through. I do like that. That does trigger it a lot easier. And he just fell in that pit of evil monsters, and if you wanted to, you can make it look like he's fell into the pit itself and is knee deep in whatever swamp that is, and the creature's about to attack him. See, it looks pretty neat, and I do like this new feature. My only complaint was that they make the head of the monster the same color as the tail. I'd like the fact that you can break your Masters Universe figures down. Okay, so there's that. So even though we've already demonstrated the trapdoor, I've attached a cage now to this trapdoor. So let's say you don't want him to fall in the pit. Let's say you just want to imprison him and maybe, like, you know, take this spear and just kind of torture him a little bit. Let's see how that works. So he's up here, Snake Mountain, right? Skeletor invited him over for lunch. And he's standing here, trapdoor. And once again, where's that lever at? We release our lever? Ah, what the heck? Oh, gosh dang it. Now I can't get it out of there because the dang cage is... Hold on. Okay, so now let's try this again. We have our invited, or uninvited guest, I should say, over. Skeletor invited him over for pizza, but he really just did that to entrap him. Woo! Hey! Look what happened. He landed in the cage, but when he landed in the cage, this door swung open. So he's free to go ahead and karate chop Skeletor to hell. So there we go. You do have to make sure this door is secure when you're going to play like that. And here is our final feature, Skeletor sitting in his throne. And I couldn't get him... Well, I couldn't get the throne back on the peg, first of all. And second of all, Skeletor's having some trouble there. There we go. Alright. Now, if he had the Havoc Staff, this is where the Havoc Staff would be. But instead, you know, you got like a king. This really bothers me about these figures. Why don't the weapons want to stay in their hands? It's ridiculous. Anyway, that is my unboxing and review of Snake Mountain. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please stick around for the outro because a lot of people don't. When I talk a little bit more into detail, I realize this video's already probably about 40 minutes long. But yeah, this Snake Mountain it's okay. Is it as good as the original? Of course not. But neither was Castle Grayskull. Actually, I think the new Castle Grayskull is better than the original. So I know I'm going to get a lot of arguments from people in the comments about that one. But I really do like some of the upgrades that they did, and the fact that computer screen is mounted into Castle Grayskull. Speaking of Castle Grayskull, you guys can see my Castle Grayskull review. I will put a link in the comments, and also up here in the top corner at the very beginning of this video will be a thing that you can click to watch my Grayskull review. But as far as Snake Mountain goes, I don't know, man. I like some of the extra features. I like the throne. I like the creatures at the bottom. I like the fact they put a cage here instead of a hammock. I always thought the hammock was ridiculous. But other than that, I'm not into it. You know, I'm really not into it. It's a little price. Well, it's not that pricey. Actually, you could probably pick up something like this on eBay for about $50, even still in the box. Like I've been seeing them $50 and up. So that concludes this review of Snake Mountain. I'm gonna have to for an official score. I'm gonna have to give it about 7 out of 10. It would have got a 10, but there's just too many things that I've found wrong with this one. Not so much wrong, but stuff that I don't really like. Alright, well there you have it. That is the big, huge review of Masters of the Universe Origins Snake Mountain. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope it wasn't too long for you. You got to remember when you're doing an unboxing and a putting together or assembly of a particular playset or toy, it's going to be a longer video than usual. But that does it for this week's Masters of the Universe Origins toy. I will have some more Masters of the Universe Origin toys on the way, although not quite yet. I need to make a trip to Target and to Walmart. Walmart's pegs are being warmed right now with the same wave that I have from 2022. I haven't really seen any 2023 figures, and Snake Mountain was the hardest to find. I didn't find it at Walmart or Target or anything like that. I had to order it off of eBay. But as I said, I think at the beginning of this video, it was cheaper. The one Masters of the Universe Origins that I did see at Target at the time and couldn't afford it, this was, heck, a couple months ago, so it's probably done by now, was the Point Dread. And I would be interested to see how the new Point Dread fits on top of Castle Grayskull. I'm sure that probably looks amazing. We'll find that out. Probably not next week or even the week before, because Christmas time, as you know, is coming. I got a lot of family to buy for, and so I'm not going to have a whole lot of money between now and then to spend on Masters of the Universe action figures and our playsets. But my next review might very well be this Wonder Woman Superpowers. But that's on the next review. And that's next time. But until next time, just remember, knowing isn't just half the battle, it's the whole damn war. This was a fun one. I don't know what to say. I'm a little disappointed in Snake Mountain, but at the same time, it's here to stay. So, we'll see you next time, everybody. Have a great day. And remember, I have the power, so can you.
Is Snake Mountain ready to take on He-Man? Snake Mountain, Battle Armor, He-Man, and Skeletor each sold separately. You put the mountain together. Batteries not included.
Is your serpent ready to strike? Yes. Come, He-Man. Come to Snake Mountain. If you dare.
Snake Mountain with Echo Microphone from the Masters of the Universe collection. Action figures each sold separately. From Mattel.